holy God. Jesus Christ. What is doing? Okay. So here we have this chud raging after absolutely destroyed. And we're going to debunk this video. Then we're going to get to the next stories, which involve actually a Democrat claiming down on TikTok, Abby Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, and a lot more other nonsense like, Pokemon catching flack. Oh my God, dude, I really do not want to cover the Twitch sphere. I really do not. But, it's a current event that involves politics, and I have to do it. So let me pull up this piece of cancer. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the whole way through this because, Jesus Christ, it is bad. It is really, really freaking bad.
Greenhouse gases.
Yeah, deliberately being like he going as far as to point it out, like, haha, I'm polluting the environment and there's nothing you can do about it. Like, conservatives will at the same time praise what he's doing, but deny the scientific consensus on climate change. So which one is it? Like, why do we as leftists have to be concerned? Because if you're saying on the one hand, okay, climate change isn't real, then why would even provoke it? But on the other hand, if climate change is real, then, okay, like, don't we have the justification to be enraged? Like, what you're saying is a contradictory idea in and of itself. Like, another example of this right-wing dissonance. Which this guy perfectly freaking embodies. Let's get to it.
Obviously a stranger to online controversies, but now the mainstream press is commenting.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ, dude, so echoey. Like I optimized my audio so it doesn't pick up the reverb around this room, which is just, an apartment office somewhere near Tampa. But Christ, man, like, you can do better than this.
The fact that I was informing,
like, illegal makes money. I guess you have to, launder it, and after you pay the laundering fees, you only get so much back. But Jesus Christ, do better than this, man.
That my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address.
Guys, gotta tell you, when I was growing up, adults watched so.
Yeah, which was small at gmail.com, I think. Yeah, wonderful clapback.
Soap operas for entertainment, okay? And I believe a lot of adults still do, right? Especially older adults.
Okay.
I mean, my grandma, she loves The Young and the Restless, okay? She's always like,
All
can you
right.
turn the TV to The Young and the Restless, right? And I'm just like, wow. But for me, I guess my version of a soap opera is the internet.
Okay, and for you audio listeners, I'm actively turning my hand with a couple of outstretched fingers, and making a circular motion because I want him to get to the point already. Jesus Christ! Like, okay, soap operas, right?
Right. I love watching the internet drama because it is quite entertaining. And my favorite subgenre of internet drama is definitely politics, because politics has become a soap opera. It really has. I mean, all these politicians are actors.
We know you're a political channel,
right? And
wait. Okay.
They have created one hell of a soap opera in Washington, right? So again,
how is this Washington? Like, I don't think is based in Washington, and obviously moved to Romania. So what the hell's going on here?
This is quite unfortunate for the average everyday American because these politicians are ruining people's lives. But I gotta say,
yeah, Christ. I mean, overturning abortion protections, contributing to climate change, actively allowing children to be shot, starving infants, or at the very least trying to shoot down legislation that would actually feed infants during a time of infant food shortage. Yeah, the Republicans, oh man, we got to vote them out, man.
At the very least, they're doing it in the most entertaining way possible. Again, it is sad and unfortunate, but I can't deny the entertainment factor in our modern day political discourse. It's really telling.
Now you know why I cover it.
Out of 10. Now, this story right here does not involve politicians. However, it is political and it is quite entertaining. Okay, in fact, this is one for Debunk. Okay, as currently in an internet beef after with his car collection. Right, apparently, is very rich. Right, if you didn't know, he has a
Yeah. So why is trolling back a bad thing? Like, or wherever the @ symbol is placed. That's clearly a facetious and flippant response. So, like, here's another contradiction in their ideology. Why whenever lashes out at someone completely unprovoked, why is it an own? Why is it an epic takedown, a destruction, an annihilation, an evisceration, an absolute steamroll? But why, when they clap back, is it, being triggered? Is it, getting too emotional after a provocation? Why is it, crying and screeching? Can you explain to me that? Like, because I honestly think to destroy someone, quote unquote, on the internet, and obviously that's why I titled my old videos that way, and I still want to continue that tradition. Why I titled my old videos that way, because clearly, if you just consider it a rhetorical win, it just makes it that way. I mean, Ben Shapiro had the absolutely most facile responses to students who questioned him at his talks, but every time he would say destroyed, eviscerated, absolutely annihilated, and I'm like, okay, you got a bunch of just lining up in the comments section of the video and talking about how much, Ben destroyed him. He made such good points. But, if I could do that with a left-wing audience, they'd say the exact same thing. So whenever we do it to them, according to them, it's obviously, getting emotional, being a crybaby, being an SJW, getting triggered, being woke. But when they do it to us, again, completely unprovoked, it's a destruction. Like, so I don't understand that.
Massive extensive
double standards
car collection, and he decided to not only brag about his extensive car collection, to also the emissions that he was putting out into the atmosphere. Okay, contributing to climate change. Right? He's
Wait. Okay. So this guy is putting climate change in air quotes. Okay. So is doing anything? Is he lying about the emissions he produces? Is he lying that emissions contribute to climate change? Like, what is he doing? Because you're going with two different narratives at a time. This guy, this conservative, doesn't believe it climate change, but at the same time, he thinks I think believes in climate change. He just doesn't care. But this conservative who's defending doesn't care. So get your narrative straight, man.
Contributing to climate change. Again, not just his cars, but also just his lifestyle in general, flying around in private jets and stuff like that. He was trolling. Show you guys exactly what he put out there. And let's just say did not respond too kindly to that, and that has erupted a whole bunch of responses from the left based off. Okay, so I want to talk about this because again, this is
she freaking destroyed him.
Quite
I agree.
Entertaining stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. Having small D energy after he tried to troll the 19-year-old climate activist by bragging about his sports cars. Now, let me say this about small D energy. I don't know what small D energy is. I wouldn't know how to identify it because I'm not concerned about people's.
Okay, one, the right has used that as a pejorative all the time. Two, the way people use it contemporarily pretty much boils it down to, I don't think you're confident enough in yourself. That's what I think it means.
Right, especially another man's. Okay, I'm not concerned about another man's. I don't know exactly what that is or what people mean when they say that. And that goes for the reverse as well, too. The former kickboxer turned internet commentator has faced increased scrutiny in recent months over his misogynistic statements. Listing out his sports cars and their enormous emissions, bragging about wealth being a fairly consistent part of
yeah, meat from women. Allegedly. I mean, Jesus Christ. Statements are not aging well, folks.
Comments have previously earned him suspensions from a number of social media platforms. Now, this is here. He says, hello, Greta. I have 33 cars. He talks about his Bugatti, his Ferrari. This is just a start. Please provide your email address so I can
again, with list of the default Wi-Fi password specifications. It's like listing off your computer specs. It's like 2LG6 freaking like all this nonsense. Okay, just does it run good? Okay, fantastic. Good gas mileage, good processing. You can play a 60 FPS game of Call of Duty on it. I'm down, bro. I'm down. Like don't hand me the entire owner's manual. I just want a general idea of how things go. Okay.
Submissions. So again, he's bragging about how much he's contributing to climate change,
and they love it. Like the right dispels the myth of climate change, despite the fact that they say, "Oh, facts don't care about your feelings," and the left is anti-reality. Despite the fact that the scientific consensus reifies the left's conclusion on climate change, and at the same time, they like Elon because he's providing innovative solutions to current problems, but they can't get a narrative straight for the life of them. This is what I really don't like about conservative ideology. It is the most inconsistent ideology. I mean, I think the left optically looks somewhat inconsistent, but leftists have to explain it, and libertarians will absolutely just bite bullets to where it just kills them optically, but conservatives don't care about consistency.
Right? Follow-up tweet included footage of Gunsberg often mocked.
Wait, but whenever we repudiate your statements and, actually clap back at you, well, how is it getting under? How does it not get under your skin? Okay, if I insult you back, what's stopping me from saying it's getting under your skin? This is so freaking arbitrary.
Heavily dramatic United Nations address on climate change. That footage is cut with clips of flying on private planes and driving sports cars. So let's watch this.
It's all wrong.
Why?
I shouldn't be up here. You have stolen my dreams. Yet.
Yeah, let's kill the planet more. Well, the planet's actually fine. It's just us that's going somewhere. Pack your folks, because we're not going to be able to live in certain places, especially where I am. I think in a couple centuries, Florida is going to be entirely underwater. Pack your folks, because in a couple of centuries, we're not going to be able to live in certain places, especially places that are built next to shorelines. So might want to consider moving.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you?
What point is this trying to make? So if you're ever listening on audio, I don't think that's going to happen because this show covers current events and it doesn't have, much of an audience at all yet. But what they're doing is interlacing clips of driving his fancy cars with speech. But what is the point? Okay, we know that you like polluting, but what's the point? Yeah, we're aware. Okay.
Yeah.
My childhood. How dare you?
Okay. Yeah.
All you can talk about is the money.
So let me go through my pockets. It's hard to find my cigars amongst all the money.
Yeah, made from.
With your empty
Oh my god, him acting like this funny, it drives me up a wall, dude.
words, entire ecosystems are collapsing. How dare you?
Wow. Yeah. So I don't know why. When I first watched that, I was like, I don't know if this is that funny. But then the more I watch it over and over again, the more hilarious I think it is. So yeah,
right, I believe you.
Was trolling her there. This is how she responded.
Oh my god, can he read? He has 10 different pronunciations of her name. Christ, man.
Yeah, small.
Actually, yeah, he can't read because if he was actually able to read, then he'd know that climate change is real.
The energy. Now, if you look at this tweet right here, okay, this is what she said. Now she got 1.7 million likes. Now she's responding to and the left thinks this is some type of own. Okay, this is a own, right? She owns right? Right? This is a W for
okay, it was in the name boys, and shit like, there are only two genders. You view the most, like, minuscule statements as a complete obliteration. Like, Ben Shapiro destroys campus Marxist in seconds. Like, the most insubstantive statements. But, like, when this woman comes with clap pack, which, definitely my sense of humor, definitely right up my alley, definitely the way I'd absolutely the kind of blood sports I'd engage in. And it's, like, spurting? And it's like, lashing out? Come on.
Right, she put this man in his place.
This is all so subjective.
He says, how dare you? And then we have Soul Simp #1 here, Hassan Abi.
Soul Simp? What?
Yogurt's nephew, who wears fingernail polish, by the way. Right. He says,
okay.
He says, how dare you? And then we have Soul Simp #1 here, Hassan Abi.
Soul Simp? What?
This is her own, right? She owned Tate, right? She got him, right? Got him, right? This is a W for she put this man in his place. This is what they say. Tate responded, he says, and then we have Soul Simp #1 here.
Soul Simp?
Chank Yogurt's nephew, who wears fingernail polish, by the way. Right.
Yeah, the anti-cancel culture, anti-free speech people love, like, calling out the fact that Hassan wears nail polish. What the f?
He says, trying to beef with teenagers instead of adults and still losing is wild. Crypto says, I did not see that coming. The Wolf All Street said, he says, I was literally about to tweet the same response, then saw yours. CJ Peterson says, I can't believe you assume Cobra takes gender. I thought you people weren't allowed to do that. Yeah, you can't assume that he's a man, right? You can't assume that he's a man. You're not allowed to do that, right? Kara Abbey, CPA, says, I'm always amazed how many...
Doesn't he constantly emphasize masculinity and how he's a man?
People think it's okay for a man to harass a
woman. Like, he constantly emphasizes, okay, you've got to look the part, you've got to dress the part, and you've got to align with masculine roles as a man. That's what... continually says. So, like, I don't know what
when she takes up for herself, the outrage. I mean, I
so
don't think
much
I'm outraged.
Contradiction, cognitive dissonance, undermining of his own narrative in this. Like, he does not care about consistency whatsoever.
Greta said, right? I'm not outraged. I mean, I think she just clapped back at him and that's it. Right? I mean, nobody's outraged by that. I just think it's hilarious. In my opinion, well done to this guy for ensuring that 32 cars with massive emissions are off the road at any given time. Corporate clip, but sadly, it is factually misplaced. In the case of high-end cars, it is a production process that emits a lot more carbon because of the use of bespoke techniques and materials and global sourcing at any cost.
Yeah, so they're inevitably getting produced. Yeah, okay, that's bad. Like, so if they're getting produced, which actually emits a lot more, and then he continues to drive them, then, like, what's your repudiation? I don't know what that Twitter user's point was.
Simon Harris says, nothing says I am secure in my masculinity like trying to initiate a pile on against an autistic teenage girl. Yeah, so they're trying to make out to be some type of bully, right? He's bullying Greta Thunberg. Now, I thought, after you get done being a teenager, criticism...
Yeah, and he failed bullying her.
...becomes fair game because 19, right? She's 19. She's not a child anymore. She's not really a teenager anymore. She's a full-grown adult. I think that, it's fair game to criticize her in her views. But what you notice...
What criticism is there? Like... Do you have any argument against her besides her, delivering things in an edgy way and being cringe? Because that's the only criticism I can make of her. Like, all her talking points on climate change, I absolutely agree with. And I think even in the UN speech, her central message was very sound. But again, I think it's on a purely aesthetic level with me and my understanding of her message.
Here, and which to call out here in the video I'm about to play for you guys, is that mainstream media picked up on this, and look how they're characterizing this, right? They're characterizing this as some type of which is exactly what...
But yeah, because they politically align with... Like, why do you think these fracking billionaire-backed channels constantly keep on saying Ben Shapiro destroys X or annihilates the argument in favor of Y? Like, because they like him. And because these, like, establishment liberals like... That's just how it works. Like, obviously, in the debate, I think my guy is going to win and trounce the other guy who disagrees with me politically. That's just how, like, this blood sport works.
Liberals on Twitter are doing as well, too. Okay, they're characterizing this as some type of from because she put an email address.
Oh, my God, read, bro.
In response to referring to small... Right. For whatever reason, again, the mainstream media has decided to run with this and to, basically, again, claim that, responded to this, and I want you guys to take a look at his response. Take a look.
Release some greenhouse gases. I'm obviously a stranger to online controversies, not something I often do.
How This is the second video. Oh my god. Well, not the second video, but a video in response to her quote tweeting him. How rent-free does this climate activist have to live in your head for you to pose with like some sort of embroidered robe in an office room, smoking a cigar, and like have a cameraman being paid to film you? What the hell is
Now,
this, man?
the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines, which run on dead dinosaurs, have an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Strange. I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is.
It's because that's not her actual email address, Tate, and it's an edgy repudiation of your argument against her. That's like, if you're trying to find inconsistencies and gotchas in a shit test, you're talking wrong. It's just not how any of this works.
I'm not actually mad at Greta. Please bring me pizza and
No, you clearly are, to the point where you have to stage a video in which you're smoking a cigar and bringing a pizza into frame and then proceed to do whatever the did with it.
Sure, these boxes are not recyclable. Thank you. So I'm actually mad at right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks she's doing good. Someone has
what is the Matrix? Okay, the Matrix was initially, and I always thought this was the message because, you know, the Wachowski sisters actively acknowledged this, that it was a celebration of their gender identity, their actualizations of themselves, and a celebration of their transness. So obviously, right-wingers again fail to interpret art. You know, I agree with the politics. I think that all the Matrix movies sucked. You know, you can leave the stream, you can disagree with me all you want, but I think all of them suck. Yeah, so obviously they can't interpret art, and I think the Matrix, whatever it is to them, just includes the liberal media informing their viewers of what their opinions are. And, you know, okay, like, what's preventing me from saying you're a part of the Matrix? Like, okay, you pander to these bitter incels, these desperate, lost, disillusioned men who are absolutely desperate for an emotional connection with a woman. So what's preventing me from saying, okay, they're in the Matrix, and what I have is truth? Because every interlocutor keeps on saying that what they're espousing is the truth. Okay, so like, what you're doing does nothing. Actually make an argument in favor of your position.
And convince her, to try and convince you, to beg your government, to tax you into poverty, to stop the sun from being hot.
No, that's not how taxation works. Okay, so taxation into poverty, that's not how it was. So, okay, if we raise taxes, especially on the upper 1%, because that's who I want to raise taxes on the most, and their capital gains, so we actually, you know, find your dollars and tax it. Well, if it was legal, but let's say your immoral business was legal, but we're actually taxing that revenue. So I'd have sufficient healthcare, sufficient infrastructure like roads, public water fountains. Under an ideal society, gas would be actually nationalized. So, you know, it'd just be an absolutely public good for most Americans. Subsidized car payments, subsidized mortgages, all from taxes of the rich. And when people say, well, talk to a homeless person. Did they ever say, okay, no, I couldn't afford to pay taxes, that's why I went homeless? Or talk to people in poverty. Rashik, will you do films or other art analysis? Here's the thing. I actually have a channel dedicated to nonpartisan analysis of art. It's just a celebration of like what I like in terms of video games. But with this channel, I can definitely like get more partisan than I am. So yeah, I think I will definitely be releasing a few video essays on media, on leftist media, and on my criticisms of right-wing art, if I actually, you know, find the time to do so. So,
And then, because I called her out on it, the global matrix got this bot farm to like and retweet and all this bot commenting to try and pretend that her telling me that she has a...
Yeah, again, whenever right-wingers mobilize on a video, because they are better than us broadly at mobilizing, what's preventing us from calling them NPCs? Like, because the way you use bots, it just seems to me like it means people who agree with Berg and who think she destroyed you. Like,
called it in her own email address.
Yeah. Whenever they call us out, we're NPCs. Whenever we call them out, they're still free thinkers. They're still outside of the matrix. But, okay.
Somehow teaches meals. Welcome to a new episode of The Clown Show. But now
what?
I know at least.
The what?
To like and retweet and all this bot commenting to try and pretend that her telling me that she has a email address somehow teaches meals. Welcome to a new episode of The Clown Show. But now I know.
Dude, you're the entire just okay?
With a little hate-filled face. Bitter, sitting somewhere without the heat on, in the cold, a little hat, shivering. Use my tweets. We're just gonna make my Twitter account far more fun into eternity.
Yeah, so
What?
I think that has a point about how the mainstream liberal media has picked up on this. Again, I showed you guys all the articles that were being written, right? The bot articles that were being written to try to make it seem like, you know, just really burned Andrew Tate. She roasted him.
Well, again, what's calling us from labeling you as bots? What's stopping us from labeling you as bots? What is it?
Which, I mean,
like, you're the anti-empiricist crowd. You constantly deny scientific truths, epistemological truths, sociological truths, and in general, truth about the reality of the world. Because people who know what they're talking about, people who are educated, they're broadly left-leaning. Like, this is why people like you don't have institutional power. You just make terrible, contradictory, incoherent arguments.
was her response, you know, okay? Yeah, I guess it was okay. I thought it was kind of funny, okay? But I didn't think it was the own or the burn that the left is making it out to be, okay? In response to Tate, you have people...
That's just called us clowning on him.
On the left, you know, people like Billy Baldwin here, basically talking about Andrew Tate's penis, right? Calling him little eggplant, right? Little meat, right? Talking about Andrew Tate's penis. Again, I don't understand why another man would be talking about another man's I'm not concerned about another man's
Wait, Andrew Tate is constantly talking about body count, masculinity, abs, hypergamy, getting the attention of women all the time. Like, okay, these red pill types constantly claim that men should be independent of what women think about them. They should pursue greater goals in life before actually pursuing women. And to an extent, I do agree with that. For you to actually like be effective in a relationship, you do have to like, you know, have some sort of greater thing you're working towards in your life. But all that is contradicted by the fact that they spend the entirety of their time telling each other how to be better with women. So like, I really don't understand their narrative. This is the point Destiny brought up.
And that's why I don't really find the response to be all, you know, that great. But hey,
yeah, because he's your guy. And we find her response to be great because she's our girl, okay? It's just as simple as that. We like when our people clap back at your people. It's just that simple, man.
2022 is totally fine to say this type of stuff about men. And this is where hypocrisy comes in from the left. Because again, imagine the left's reactions if the roles were reversed, in the sense that a woman started trolling a man and the man responded with, oh, you're for right, you're a vagina, or you got saggy, right, or saggy. He said something about a woman's body part to try to degrade a woman. Do you think that the left will be responding this way, right? Do you think that this would be appropriate, right?
What is the political orientation of that person that is being responded to? Because obviously, if it was a right-winger that got her then the left would be all over that. Because again, it's our guy making fun of this right-wing girl. But, you know, like, generally, I don't think people should be made fun of immutable characteristics. I think if you're making fun of an attribute of someone that people can control, then I think that's permissible. But
not necessarily she'll be reacting saying, wait, now, yeah, I think it's fair game. Okay, if she wants to say that, fine. But if it says something about her, in a disrespectful way like that, right? With those type of references, I don't want to hear anything. Not that I think that he will. I don't think he would stoop that low because, again, in 2022, you can't say anything about a woman's private parts like that. You can't make fun of a woman's anatomy, right? But it's totally fun to make fun of a male's anatomy, right? Even though I don't know what Andrew is, but, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't think making fun of is, you know, in the best interests of everyone socially. But the reason that left-wingers like this, even though, like, I think audience is, you know, full of establishment liberals, the reason her audience likes this is just because she's clowning on it's that simple, man. Like, I don't know why you don't get this
He's
simple
saying that he gives off that type of
concept.
energy, right? Not sure how many
We're gonna take a break after this,
interacted with to
but it
be
won't
able
be
to
long.
know
I
what
just have to
energy
urinate.
can predict the size of somebody's penis. She's interacted with enough of them to make that type of statement, right? To know that. But I'm just saying, I feel like if the roles were reversed, I don't think that this would be okay. I just find it funny how it's totally fine with making fun of a male's
Yeah, you know, don't make fun of immutable characteristics.
body parts, right? His but I don't think that this will fly with women, right? I think it all should be fair game. But I'm just saying, it's just funny to me how she can say something like that, and you know, the left, who again, if a man said that about a woman, it would be okay. That they're gonna try to, you know, praise that, right? They're praising that. It's just funny how that works. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.
Yeah. So this guy's a fucking idiot. All right.